Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So as per every Tuesday at 7:30, and as per the week's Instagram lives, every Tuesday we've been going through the 10th chapter or the 10th Vaar of Bhai Gurdaas Ji. So Bhai Gurdaas Ji again was the scribe who wrote the Gurbani, the writings of the Gurus in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So as Guru Arjan Dev Ji, the 5th Guru, spoke the writings of all of the 5 Gurus, and all of the Bhagats spoke their Gurbani. Bhai Gurdaas Ji was the one who scribed the Gurbani down. They were also the nephew of the 3rd Guru, the cousin of Bibi Pani Ji, who were married to the 4th Guru, the 4th Guru's wife, and also they were the Mamma Ji of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, who were the 5th Guru. And Bhai Gurdaas Ji's writings, as per Guru Arjan Dev Ji's title, are known as the key to understanding Guru Granth Sahib Ji and Gurbani, or Gurbani the Kunji, the key of Gurbani. And we've been going through the 10th chapter of those writings, in which Bhai Gurdaas Ji, helping us understand Gurbani more, they are going through all of the key figures, historical figures that are referenced in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and just explaining who they are and a bit of their background. So we've gone through 6 Pauri. So today is Pauri number 7, or character figure number 7. We've gone through Bhagat Dhruv, who were a Bhagat who became one with Vaheguru at a very young age, the age of 5. Also Bhagat Prahalad Ji, who again at a young age became one with. We've Raja Amrik, Raja Janak, so these great pious kings that have graced this world in the past. And last week we talked about a queen, Queen Tara, Rani Tara, and the king Raja Harichand. So that was last week, and they are all uploaded to YouTube. If you just type in Mata Sahib God Educational Trust, you should find them. And this week, Bhai Gurdaas Ji, in Pauri number 7, they talk about a Bhagat a saint called Bidar, or as referred to in India as Vidura. And Bidar Ji is referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji numerous amount of times. So just a little bit of context. Some of us might have heard about Mahabharat, which is the epic tale of the battle within the Kuru dynasty, which was a dynasty that ruled over India many thousands of years ago. And the battle within that Kuru dynasty, in that one family, that large dynasty, that large family, between essentially 2 groups of cousins, the Kauravas and the Pandavas. So the Pandavas were 5 brothers who were very close to Krishna Bhagavan Ji. So Krishna Bhagavan Ji were the incarnation of Vaheguru in that sort of era. And on the other side you have the Kauravas, led by Duryodhan, who was seen as the sort of the oppressors and the evil side of the family. And through many different reasons, they come to fight in the sort of final scene of Mahabharat, in this great battle. And that battle and many of those characters, Duryodhan, Dronacharya, Karun, Arjun, they're all referenced in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. It's a very famous epic, that and Ramayana, where we hear about Ramchandra Ji, Bhagavan Ramchandra and Sita. These are the 2 sort of great epics from India. And there are many different reasons why these characters and the stories from Mahabharata are referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And the character today, the figure today, is Bhagat Bidar, and his place is that those 2 sort of, you could say, families, or you could say those 2 groups that were within the same family that were at war with each other were called the Kauravas and the Pandavas. And on the Pandav side, they had Krishna Bhagavan Ji. So Krishna Bhagavan Ji, due to sort of family links, Krishna Bhagavan Ji, and also the fact that they recognized, although everybody recognized that Krishna Bhagavan Ji was a incarnation of Vaheguru, they sort of had Krishna Bhagavan Ji on their side. And on the other side, the people who were sort of in the palaces were sitting on the throne, were led by somebody called Duryodhan. And Duryodhan's uncle was Bidar. And Bidar was actually, not to go into too much detail, Bidar was a sort of, you could say, stepbrother or a half brother of his father and his other uncle. So he was sort of cast aside because he was a half brother. It's sort of quite complicated. Even saying a half brother is not quite accurate. There's quite a long story that goes into why Bhagat Bidar was a half brother, but he was always the voice of reason, and he was always neutral in all of the feuds between these two groups within this family. And because he was a half brother, he was sort of kicked out of the palaces, and with his wife, he lived in a sort of shack, in a like sort of a hut, away from the palaces. And of course, Duryodhan was the king at the time. And the Pandavs, the 5 brothers, who also, you could say, had a claim to be the heirs to the throne. They should have been sitting on the throne. They had also been kicked out of their kingdom and given like a small space in India just to live within. And at one point, what happens is, so Bidar is a great Bhagat. He recognizes Krishna Bhagwan Ji as the incarnation of Vaheguru. He worships Vaheguru through the form of Krishna Bhagwan Ji. And at one point, the Pandavs and Krishna Bhagwan Ji arrive in Hastinapur, which is the sort of the capital, to the palaces, where they seek to talk to Duryodhan and come to some sort of like peace treaty and come to some sort of agreement that there can be a divide of the land and everyone can sort of just live peacefully. And what happens is, when they come to the palaces, they first go and meet their devotee, who is Bidar. And the Vaar that Bhai Gurdaas ji describe, or are going to detail, where they're talking about this sort of event of Krishna Bhagwan, the incarnation of Vaheguru, arriving to the palaces, or you could say to the royal city, to the capital of Hastinapur, but not seeing Duryodhan and all of the other sort of key figures or the important members of this dynasty, but instead going to that shack and seeing Bidar is sort of what is described in today's Pauri. So we'll go straight into it, and then afterwards we'll look at some of the references where Bhagat Bidar is referenced in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So Bhai Gurdaas Ji start. Vaheguru Ji Aya Sunya Bidar De Bola Duryodhan Hoy Rukha. So Aya, this is Duryodhan. From his point of view, he has seen that Krishna Bhagwan Ji has arrived in Hastinapur. Aya Sunya, I've heard that Krishna has arrived in Hastinapur. Bidar De, but I've heard that he's arrived in the house of Bidar. When we even say house, he lived in a little hut. So I've heard that he's arrived, Krishna Bhagwan Ji, in this city, but he's gone to see Bidar in his shack. He's not come to the palaces first. Bola Duryodhan Hoy Rukha. Duryodhan says this, Hoy Rukha, in a very angrily. So he angrily states this, that I've heard that Krishna Bhagwan Ji has come, but why has he not come to the palaces? So in a sort of anger or in a sort of jealousy, you could say, Duryodhan speaks these words. Kar asade shadka. So sada asade shadka. Kar asade, our house, our palaces, shadka. So putting our palaces and our home to a side. Gole de kar. And so Gole de kar, the Gola is because he was a half brother, his mother was actually like a servant and was a maid, and so they always call him Dasi Sut, or Gola here means essentially servant, and so he's like the son of a servant. So it was like a sort of slur that they would use against Bidar. Dasi Sut means the son of a servant. Remember, they were all a royal lineage, and here they're saying that Krishna Bhagwan Ji has gone where? Gole de kar, to the house of the servant Bidar, even though he was born into the royal lineage. Jahe ke sukha. So they say to Krishna Bhagwan Ji, this is a conversation between Duryodhan, the king, and Krishna, saying, Ke sukha, what bliss did you attain? What happiness did you obtain? What was so great about you going to the servant's house? What was there that is not in these palaces? And then they say, Pikam, Drona, Karan, Taj. So they list 3 key members of that dynasty. Pisham, here spelled Pikam, often referred to as Pisham or Pisham Pitama. Drona, which is short for Dronacharya. who I think was the guru of that side of the family, and Karan, who was another elite warrior, and also has a sort of a relation to these families as well, which is not which is you find out at the end of the Mahabharata sort of epic. So at this point, we're sort of seeing him as these three key figures, and all of these are the key figures of the family, of the dynasty, these warriors, these generals. Taj, you've left these aside as well, so you've disrespected not even just myself, all of the other sort of key members of this dynasty that rule all of this land. Sabha Sigar Vade Manukha. Yeah, you've left all of this Sigar, all of this bejeweled palace, so Sigar means, Shingar means decoration. So there's beautifully decorated palaces and these beautifully decorated individuals as well. Vadde Manukha, these great men. Manukha means man in a loose sense, like a woman or a man. It can mean any. But these great beings, these great men, you've left them and you've gone to see the son of a servant, of a maid. That was Bidar. But remembering, Bidar was actually born into the royal family. He was just a half brother, and even that is sort of not going into the story too much. It was all just a sort of insult, really. There was no sort of no truth to it, but it was like a slur to sort of make sure that they can take it. And because Bidar would be the one talking sense and would tell them often that you guys are wrong, how you're ruling the land is wrong. This enmity, this feud between the two families is incorrect, and it was sort of like a slur they used to throw at Bidar. Chungi Jai Valayon. So you've left us and you've gone to Bidar's Chungi. Chungi is like another word for chumpadi, or shan, which is essentially a word for like a shack or a hut made of sort of anything you can find, a little house made of anything you can find. Sabana de ji under tukha. And what you've done is you've ignited a tukha, a fire of jealousy, of anger, of they'll probably be feeling embarrassment or ridicule. You've ignited this fire in all of us, in all of us beings that are in the palace. And then Krishna Bhagwan Ji replies, Has bola Bhagwan Ji. Laughing, Bhagwan Ji, the form of Vaheguru, that was Krishna Bhagwan Ji at that time, they haske bole, they laughed, and in a sort of very carefree mood replied, Soneho Raja hoye sanamukha. Listen, Raja, mere more a sanamukha. Come in front of me so that they can tell them what they're going to say next. Tere pao na disai. Your prem I couldn't see. Your love, your devotional your devotion, your desire to have the vision of me. Remember, they're the form of Vaheguru at this point. I couldn't see any sort of desire, any sort of you could say hunger within yourself, any love from yourself for me that would have brought me here. Mere nahi apada dukkha. In myself, I have no apada, I have no enmity or any, the word was confliction. There's no reason, there's no reason I would not go to this person and go to that person. I don't have any more a stronger link to Bidar than I do to yourself or to somebody else, or with Dronacharya, or with Arjun, or with the Pandavas. It doesn't make a difference to me. I have no sort of enemies and friends in this family. It doesn't make a difference to me. I don't have any dukh. I don't have any different. I don't differentiate between any of these family members. Pao jive ha Bidar de, but the prem, the love, the devotion. Remember, Bidar used to worship Krishna Bhagwan Ji, understanding that they were the form of Vaheguru. Although all of the other family members did, there was still sort of a doubt, and they didn't exercise their full devotion as we should to Vaheguru. If we saw like the way we would to our gurus, you can name sort of various characters that we hear about in the times of the 10 gurus and of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, that might have been close to the family of the gurus, or close to the guru themselves, but their love was like a 95% love, you could say, where that 5% there was a bit of like, yeah, I understand what Guru Sahib is saying, but this, but that. So the love that Bidar has, Pao Jiveha, Jiddanda, the type of prem, the type of love that Bidar has, Hori de Chit, Chao na Chukha. Hori de, in the others, Horna de, in the others, in their chit, in their minds, in their hearts, Chao na Chukha. I don't see even a small amount of Chao, of excitement, of motivation, of hunger, of thirst to have me visit them than I saw in my Bhagat, in my devotee Bidar. And then to finish the Pauri, Bhai Gurdaas ji say, Gobind, which is another word for Vaiguru. Gobind, Vaiguru is Pao Bhagat da Pukha. So Vaiguru is Pukha is means well, it literally means hungry, but we're not saying hungry in the sense that we would usually use the word. What Vaiguru desires is, or what Vaiguru is wanting of, is not our material possessions, is not our ego, is not our caste. Because remember Bidar, he's seen to be like a lower caste because his mother is a half brother. His mother is a maid who most likely, and she was like a lower caste lady. Remember, lower caste, we're just saying according to their beliefs, because they believe that he was a half brother from a servant lady. He was a lower caste and they were the higher caste. Vaiguru doesn't want for any of these things. What Vaiguru does want from us is Pao Bhagat. So Bhagat, with Sihari as it is here, means Bhakti, means meditation and devotional worship. But which kind? Pao, that is done in a loving way. So not a way of cleverly or trying to trick your way to a certain spiritual level, in a way where you're devotionally worshipping Vaiguru, in our case the Gurus and Vaiguru themselves, and in this case as Bidar Bhagat was devotionally worshipping Krishna Bhagwan Ji. So that is the Pauri, and so from that Pauri we can take that these are the things that Vaiguru wants to see from us, and look at how in inverted commas how great Duryodhan and his house was, and his family, and the people that were there to greet Krishna Bhagwan Ji, and his caste and his riches and whatever else. But where did Krishna Bhagwan Ji go? They went to where they could feel the loving devotion and the desire for their vision, the desire to see them, which was from Bidar Bhagat. So quickly, I'll just go through some references from Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So here is one from Guru Ram Das Ji, the fourth Guru, in Rag Suhi. So this is on Ang 733 of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Guru Sahib say, Neej Jat Har Japatya. So in a supposed low caste, remember Guru Sahib not saying this, but they're saying, in the low caste that the world deems as low, Har Japatya, meditating on Vaiguru, Uttam Padavi Pai, we can still obtain the highest status. Now what they're saying is spiritual status, and also remember, look at how Bidar is remembered now in terms of a social status, or you could say in terms of like a historical status. We're not contemplating the greatness of Duryodhan, we're contemplating the greatness of Bidar. And so in both senses, in a worldly sense, but more importantly in a spiritual sense, we can reach the highest levels even if we're from the lowest, supposed lowest castes. And they carry on and say, Pucho, go and ask, Bidar Dasi Sutta. So remember we said earlier he was referred to as the son of the maid. He was like sort of ridiculed for being the son of a maid, of a servant. So the Dasi Sutta, the son of the maid Bidar, go and ask him, Kisan Uttarya Kar Jis Jai. That Bidar, into whose home Krishna, Kisan Uttarya, Krishna Bhagwan Ji came and blessed. Asked that Bidar Bhagat, who was from a supposed low caste, who had Vaiguru in the form of Krishna Bhagwan Ji, come to their house and forego all of the other people that were around at that time. Another Pankti is, I'm not sure where this Pankti is from. They refer to all of these other Bhagats, such as Balmika, such as Bhagat Prahlad, who we've already talked about in a previous Pauriya. And then they say Bidar Dasi Sut Payo Punita, the son of the servant Bidar, Payo Punita became pure, Sagale Kol Ujare, and he redeemed, or you could say he Ujare, he brought a positive light onto all of his Kol, his generations. And one more, a Shabad where Guru Sahib, Bhagat Kabir Ji, they say Rajan, Kaun Tumhara Aave. So this is like speaking from the point of view of Krishna Bhagwan Ji. Rajan, hey king, Kaun Tumhare Aave, who would come to your house? Aso Pao Bidar ko dekho. That kind of love that we saw from Bidar. Oh Garib Mohe Paave. That Garib pleases me more to go to that Garib, that poor person's house. That is Bidar. It's also said that I think Bidar fed Krishna Bhagwan Ji, I think Sag, and he, I think, forgot to put in salt, and so Sag without salt, they took that Sag, Krishna Bhagwan Ji, and they referred to it as Amrit. That Sag, even that Sag where there wasn't even any salt in that Sag, no taste in that Sag, but to us that was Amrit because it was made from the hands of our Bhagat. So I think that's I think that's all. There's multiple other panktiyan as well where Bidar is referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and from this Sakhi we can take that is the true currency. Between us and our Guru, true currency is that love and devotion that we have towards our Guru, and that's the thing that is going to take us further than those who might have more, might give more, might be more in different people's eyes, but for our Guru is the devotion that we have and the love that we have that is the true currency. So that's all for this week. We'll carry on next week with next week's character or historical figure that is referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.